All right, and we are recording, and we are with Chancellor Brewington again. So my name is Justin Adams. As y'all know, I am the post-game host here at Nebraska Football at the Voice of College Football. And Chancellor was gracious with his time again and joined us for the third time. So y'all keep showing him love. And what's going on, Chancellor? How's the channel doing? How's everything going with you?
Yeah, the channel's doing good. It's been awesome just being able to see the feedback, engage with some supporters, and it's just been awesome to see where the channel is growing and 2 weeks, 3 weeks, and the direction we're heading in. I like it. We have a new video dropping maybe next week. I think we might drop it next week. That's going to be a little different, a little change up. So we'll see how that goes. And
You dropped one today,
the
right?
support. Yeah, we did drop one today. It was the review of the Northern Illinois Nebraska game. I talked about a little bit of football. But yeah, you can go see it on there on D&D.
For sure. Yeah. Y'all go check it out and get over there. He put a poll up today. I saw that poll, kind of asking people, what they want to see with the content and stuff like that. So get over there, put your input in there so they kind of know what they want to see going forward. So it looked to me like people love your football knowledge a lot. So that seemed to be getting the majority of it. So that's
Yeah.
what I'm getting from a lot of people too. Just got a good mind for the game. So I think it's why people are tuning in and your channel's consistently growing. So, all right. Well, you mentioned that you had gone out to the game, and don't get into too much detail so the people can still go watch the video and learn a lot. But just kind of high level overview. How was your experience out there?
It was cool. It was interesting, man. It was, I just played on that team the year before, and I know all the guys. I know how they function, how what they're good at, what they're not good at, you know what I'm saying? So I know kind of the whole background. I know, how things work preparing for a game. So it was just interesting to be on the other side of it. And and I got to see the facility and all the new stuff that they have going on. So it was just an awesome experience, man.
How were the facilities?
Yeah, it was awesome. It was well put together. It's kind of like some out of a movie. It looks like, I'm sure not a lot of NFL stadiums have the type of stuff they have. It's really crazy.
Yeah, they have everything from the normal weight training and stuff like that, but they put a big emphasis on recovery. There's a lot of stuff in there that's helpful recovery. They have the meals in there, all that stuff helps. So that's good,
Yeah,
man.
I got
No,
things from, like, I think they got a sauna, a red light therapy,
that's
hot
cool.
tub coats up, a bunch of stuff, man.
That's awesome. Yeah, that's definitely going to help recruiting and stuff like that too going forward. So, but that's pretty cool that you got to check all that out and you got to experience the game. So we'll first give a little bit of a shout out to your cousin, I believe, Javen Wright.
Yes,
You're
sir.
the INT. So go ahead and talk about it.
Yeah, man, that was awesome, man. The whole family was up in the crowds, man. Man, brought a tear to the eye, man. Just literally just because, not so much the interception. I know his capabilities on the field. He gonna get a few more this year, and surprise a lot of people in the skill department. But the biggest thing was just his journey throughout football, man. He had, a lot of people don't know, but he had two different sets of blood clots. One starting the 2021 season, and then going into the off season, going into the 2022 season. So it was just a roller coaster. At one point I thought he had cancer. It was a crazy story, and that's my brother for real.
Yeah,
So I don't think, even if we were blood, it doesn't really make us any closer.
yeah,
Immediate family meaning. But yeah, it was awesome. Just to know how much he's been through, all the things he had to overcome, and just the emotional, mental, physical battle that he went through, and the way and the high level he's playing at. He had the high PFF grade out of the whole defense, and the defense
nice.
is playing at a very, very high level. So
Yep.
man, I'm proud of him. And yeah, God is good for that.
That's awesome, man. And yeah, that's tough that, all that stuff. I didn't know all that about him. So that's, it's a really tough situation. But, when you kind of push through that stuff, that's kind of where you build that resilience and that mental toughness. So, some of that stuff, wow, you don't want to go through it. It's when you push through it, you learn a lot from it, and you build a lot of character, and you become a better player and a better person overall because, you fought through it and you made it on the other side. Now, obviously he's very successful what he's doing. So,
Yeah.
so, yep. So I had to give him a shout out there. I knew you were excited about that. So now we can roll over a little bit into the rest of the defense here. Blackshirts are looking legit, man. It's a sight to see. We got right now the 29th total defense, and that's with that, that late Colorado explosion there. Run defense 1.7 yards per carry, I believe third in the country right now. Absolutely just doing, what they did the first two games. They're showing that they can do it consistently, and that's going to be very helpful, especially the run defense against a team like Michigan. So, yeah, what's your overall thoughts on the defense, and what have you taken away from watching them?
Yeah, at first, I was really skeptical of the 3-3-5. Not a lot of people in the Big Ten run it. I didn't know the type of schemes they were going to run, if they're just going to strictly stay in a 3-3-5 like TCU does, and that's who they are. But they switched to they switched to a 4-3. They switched to a five down front, and they do so much things out of it. And what makes a 3-3-5 work is if your interior linemen are playing at a high level, and Nash and Ty are doing that. And you got backers who can run sideline to sideline. You got Giff who's playing. I feel like not a lot of people are talking about how well Giff is playing. He's kind of gets the back half lined up, and also is in communication with the backers. When they go into that five down front, Giff actually becomes that, like, almost that weak side linebacker. So he's playing in the box a lot. He's coming down. He's sometimes the Tampa dropper. He's everywhere. And also Q's playing at a high level. Quentin Newsom. MC is playing at a high level. The way, just the amount of one-on-one tackles I see on the outside, that they're getting guys down and they're not letting them make the first man miss, is impressive. I think Deshaun Singleton and Omar Brown are also playing at a high level. We saw some interesting this past game when they brought Tommy Hill in at corner, and I think they bumped Q to free safety. So that was something interesting. Having three corners on the field.
Yeah.
And then obviously the emergence of Makai. Him being able to play physical. Man, I could literally go on and on about everyone. But yeah, like I just named more than 11 guys. And that just shows the coaching level and the guys being bought into a system, because that doesn't work if everyone isn't on the same page. That doesn't work, because egos get involved, and why am I not doing this? But if everyone understands, okay, for this defense to be good, everyone has to play a role. And maybe this week coming up, we're playing a pass heavy team, and my role might get elevated. Or the next week we're playing a run heavy team, and I might not get as many snaps, but I know the person who's a little bit more capable, or where that role fits him a little bit more, will be playing more snaps. So it's just interesting to see how they're doing it, and I honestly love it.
Yeah, that's a big thing. What you're talking about, just being bought in, and that's I mean, you see that play out on the sideline. Just how into the game the coaches and the players are, and how they interact. It's evident how bought in these players are to the staff, and how much they trust the staff and stuff like that. And Matt Rule, even respectfully gave credit to the former staff for having a lot of these guys, ready to go too. So they've Tony White. I was skeptical of the 3-3-5 too, just because it seems like such a light upfront defense, and in the Big Ten, I wasn't sure how well that would work. But they've got it schemed up so perfect. I feel like Rocky Lombardi's head was spinning back there. He didn't know what to do half the time. Was running for his life. I don't think he was ready for the speed of the defensive line. Nash Hutmacher, just an insane game. And it's weird to see a number 0 busting through the line. That's a new one, man. I got to get used to that still. But a big old number 0 at that. But yeah, Nash and Ty, on that D line. So very exciting times, and that defense is going to help out our offense a ton and take a lot of pressure off of them. So, but we can go ahead and shift over into the big conversations. Of course, we got the injuries. So we'll just go ahead and kind of your take on the running back spot. Of course, Gabe Ervin, you feel for him. He was going to have a great year. Ramir, man, gutted for him. I believe it's his final year of eligibility. So, if I'm not mistaken, so that's tough all around. So it's Anthony Grant's time to shine, and Emmett Johnson, I'd mentioned him before, as a player I wanted to see. We're going to see him. He's the backup. And then I think Quentin Ives is going to be the third string, but true freshman, a redshirt freshman. What is your take on that running back room with the inexperience, and what's going to be key going forward to making sure those guys stay healthy and produce?
Yeah, I would say first of all, man, it was a shock when I heard the news because I just had seen Gabe after the game, so I was just talking to him. I was just, like, he was like, "Bro, I'm gonna get that 100. I'm gonna get that 100 per game coming up soon."
Man.
And then like the next day, I'm like, just I think I was scrolling on Twitter or something, and it was like Gabe Ervin out for the year. I'm like, yeah, that's fake. Like, that's fake. And then I saw it was actually real, but that's his second season in injury. The last one came Oklahoma week 2021. But the only thing I could say to that is it sucks right now, and at times we don't understand why things happen to us, and the being us zoomed into the picture, we don't understand sometimes, but usually time will reveal why things happen the way it did. So I'll be praying for him, and I think actually I know that good will come from it. And also with Dallas, I hope he gets able to appeal for another year. I think he will be able to. I don't think that would be a problem, but yeah, Dallas is a Ramir Johnson, my bad, is a the most humblest dude. If he ran for 2,000 yards in a season, he will be the same dude. He's the same dude after rushing for 100 yards a game, and he'll come in the locker room, and just be himself. And he's a hard worker. He doesn't say much, but he's a guy that you can always trust to do the right thing, to be in the right spot, and to always take coaching the right way. So that hurt, because I know those guys personally, and that's never fun. But I already know that Dawes and Gabe, they're not going to dwell on it for long. They're going to get right back to what matters, and that's winning football games. And that is the culture of football, is next man up. And although they will have a battle internally with processing it and getting through it, I know they will still help the guys coming along. Okay, so now getting into it being AG's show now. I think the number one thing is just communication. Just overly communicate. What's expected, what the game plan is, so everyone's on the same page. I think also having a younger guy in there, Emmett hasn't really seen live bullets at the running back position. I don't believe so. And live bullets is different. Louisiana Tech ain't no scrubs, and then you're gonna go into Michigan week the next week. So I think it's going to be really important for, I don't know about the true freshman kid, but it's going to be important for all those guys to get reps this next game, and learning what a rotation feels like, learning what, just being able to be locked in on the sideline, taking mental reps, taking coaching during a game, knowing what that feels like, being able to interpret what's going on in the field, taking it from the film room to the field. That's a big step. And, things look different on film than when you're actually right by the quarterback and looking at a even front or an odd front, or things are just different. So there's going to be adjustment period. So people should never be, oh, why did he do that, or why did he do this? There's an adjustment period for everything. People got regular day jobs, and it takes them a week or two to get adjusted to it. So imagine how hard it is to be playing full speed against really grown men.
Yeah.
But yeah, so yeah, I would just say communication. I know the coach is going to, if anything, ramp things up detail wise, just a tad bit. Not to say that the detail wouldn't be ramped up before, but that's just something me personally I would think about doing.
Yeah, and you mentioned the reps. We do the Tuesday live with Greg Peterson, and Greg had mentioned that during fall camp he was getting a lot of the reps in the regular rotation. So hopefully, he's been still getting rotated in there in practice. But like you said, live bullets is completely different when you're out there playing 100 miles an hour. You can't simulate that in practice or scrimmages. So it's one of those things. It's wait and see, but it's going to be heavy AG. And heavy dose of AG in the quarterbacks. But Anthony Grant's a tough dude to handle by himself. So that's let's go over to the Haarberg Sims situation here. Haarberg came in. The way I kind of see Haarberg is just this. He's just a football player that just to his core. He's a guy who plays the game, and it doesn't matter how he's got to do it. He's gonna find a way, and he puts his body on the line every play. Like, he does everything he can to help this team win. And at the sacrifice of his own body, like I said, he's lowering shoulders, and linebackers getting physical with these guys because he's setting the tone for this offense. What was your overall take on Heinrich Haarberg's performance? And kind of how was he as a teammate?
Yeah, Heinrich's a playful, funny guy. But when it's time to work, it's time to work, and that's something he don't play about. He's a freakish athlete. I remember our strength coaches used to compare him to Josh Allen when we were working out. Just the similarities of body type and just the explosion that he has is just different from quarterbacks. But I think he has a lot more explosion than Josh Allen. But arm strength, he has it. And he's a special player, man. I was waiting for his moment, and it's finally here. So just looking at the tape, I got to see it in person, and then like looking back, I went over like some of the highlights. Y'all can go see that on the D&D channel. But it was like it was super encouraging because the first drive of the game kind of tells you a lot of how keyed in and how dialed a quarterback can be to the game plan. Because the first couple of plays, handoff, and then we go heavy play action, hit Marcus over on the dagger concept, first down. Then we go handoff. I think it's QB sneak, and then maybe a handoff. We go inside zone, and then we do the little arrow to Billy, and the arm angle was a little different. Getting that ball out to him and getting him in space. So that first drive commanded the offense well, and that's what you like to see, because those are the 10 plays. Everybody knew on the offense that those plays were going to be called. It was no surprise, right?
Yep.
So they were detailed, they were game planned for. And that's encouraging. And throughout the game, there was kind of a lull. There's a protection breakdown with the fumble that was not his fault.
Yeah.
So there's this. Everyone can have their own opinions, but I think Haarberg played good. I think it's his first time playing a college football game, if I'm not mistaken.
He's had game action just as fill-in, but it's different when you're starting.
Yeah, so this is first real live bullets, I would say. So, there's an adjustment period for everyone. There was an adjustment period when I first played college football. So,
Yep.
The level he played at is very encouraging, and it goes to see like the mental capacity that he had, and he's only going to get better and better. And what happens is when you play, even if you play a decent game or a good game or a great game, what that does to you, it builds your confidence. So then you go out and practice and understand, okay, I could have made this throw a little bit better. Let me be more intentional, and let me detail up in practice how I could make this a little bit better, or just just little things like communicating in the huddle a little bit better, and that gives you a confidence to be able to talk to your coaches in a different way. I know a lot of younger guys or guys who don't see a lot of action, can't have that direct communication where you're giving your opinion, and
Mhm.
the coach is able to see that and hear that and value that.
Yeah.
So that communication is even different. So there's so many levels that go into having a good performance, and I think Heinrich did that.
Yeah. The way I kind of like after that first, touchdown drive, I tweeted that, you know, we got the scripted drive down, which is great. But now let's see if the offense can catch a rhythm, with the game flow. And, it just took them a little bit of time to catch the rhythm. That's all it was. But once they caught it, it was, all, full send from there. I did like, Sims was coaching up Haarberg on the sideline, after the fumble. And then I think he had a quick 3-and-out. And I could see Haarberg kind of doing like this and saying, I need to calm down. And I think that was it. I think, it's a home game. Pressure's on because the fans really wanted to see a win. We had to win that Northern Illinois game. It almost felt like. So there's pressure there. And then, starting at home, Matt Rule's first win, you can't understate the guy's mental toughness to get out there and do it. Not only that, figure it out mid-game. Like I said, when the offense got rolling, it got rolling. And me personally, I think that is invaluable. That he was the guy to get the offensive rhythm. I think it makes sense to continue him into Louisiana Tech because you kind of get to stack those games together. He learns from this one, goes and implements some new stuff in the Louisiana Tech game, and then he's rolling into Michigan with a better idea, as opposed to I think Sims trying to come in and catch a rhythm in just Louisiana Tech game, and then we'll see what goes from there. If he plays well, maybe into the Michigan game. But what's your kind of your take on that? Do you think Haarberg should start no matter what? I think no matter what, if Sims is healthy or not, that Haarberg should start. But without you having to actually say what is like, because I don't want you to have to speak on it if you don't want to. But what is kind of your perspective in general about that offensive rhythm flowing from game to game, and how important is that? Is it something where you
um,
can make a switch like that and still produce at that high of a level still?
yeah, I don't. I I think I think I think if I'm coaching the team, I think you see what Heinrich did. You see how Jeff played, but they know what type of player Jeff is. So
Yeah, yeah.
whatever as a fan or any from the outside perspective, if you're judging Jeff off of what
Fumble.
you think of him based on what you've seen of him,
Mhm.
that's not the same judgment that the coaches have on him.
Exactly, yeah.
They've seen the high level of play, or else he wouldn't have started these first two games, right?
Mhm.
So I think that is still in the back of their mind, but you can't just go over Heinrich's performance and act like that didn't happen and act like he didn't just command a team in front of 90,000. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And really, I think I can't recall like a bad throw he made that was into coverage or putting the team in jeopardy. I don't believe I saw that.
Mhm.
So that being said, and there was also some things not including him that with the offense that they need to clean up that maybe made him look a little less prepared than what he was. If anyone did think that, just looking back on the film, there's a couple adjustments that some people should have made, but they didn't, and kind of mess his read up sometimes. So,
Mhm.
with all that being said, I don't think the offense changes that much based on who's at quarterback.
Mhm.
I really don't. I think you can maybe. I think it looked to me like they simplified the pass game for Heinrich, and
Mhm.
but still, I just think the level of simplicity in the passing game should be even for both of these guys.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, I think there's still a rhythm that they need to get in the passing game, whether that is, every 4 3 or 4 plays, you know, you throw the ball, there still needs to be some type of rhythm.
Yep.
So yeah, I think it's going to be interesting. I think I have my personal opinion. I'm not going to say it, but
Yeah,
like
that's
it's just going to be interesting to see how they play this, because they can play it multiple ways. You know, if you play Heinrich, you know, as a coach, like, you know, you don't get in trouble by the fans or the media. You know what I'm saying? But
Yep.
you know, if you take a risk, then there's a risk. So it's just going to be interesting.
Yeah. Yeah, and to your point with Sims out of the gates, yeah, we haven't really seen, like you said, the coaching staff knows better than we do because we have not yet get to see Sims play football. In my opinion, with the fumbles, we have no idea what Jeff Sims has to offer, in my opinion, yet. And now we're just in this predicament where you got Michigan looming and you got a couple games to get it right. And that's, you know, I think Sims being, you know, the guy that they pulled in, rules made it, you know, he said that if he's 100% healthy, he's the guy. So like you said, the coaching staff believes in him, but you can't discount what Haarberg just did, because that's impressive. So I think, you know, I think they're in a not a bad situation. I think they're in a good situation with 2 really good quarterbacks and 3 in Chuba. Chuba's a really good quarterback. He got thrown into the fire a lot of those times he came into the games. So a lot of people don't take that into account. He came into some really tough situations in the middle of the game. So, man, I'm telling you,
Illinois, yeah, that
didn't he
was.
come in on the road in man, I can't remember if it was Michigan or something. It was a road game, and we were driving down the field, and he had to come in late in that game, and I'm just like, this is a heck of a situation. So, and I you know, work with somebody who's friends with Chuba's parents. I worked with him at Amazon, so you know, he's a good kid, and you know, he's also looming there too, and he can provide valuable game experience as well. So we have a good situation at quarterback, and especially since we look to be cleaning up the turnovers, you know, I think Sims is going to reset that mind. When he does come in, I think he's going to play well. So it'll be interesting to see how that turns out there. So with the Louisiana Tech game, I don't know if you've looked into Louisiana Tech very much, but what's kind of your keys to this game, and what are the things that you kind of think that we should look for and kind of be able to point to, like, to prep for the Michigan game, or what we can point to that we need to work on in advance of the Michigan game? You know, what are you kind of looking for to play out there, and what are some of the things, improvements maybe you want to see made? Or
Yeah, I think you know, I haven't seen too much on Louisiana Tech. I don't even know if they're a passing team, running team. I don't know
so
anything.
I can they offensive 6.14 yards per play. It looks like, you know, they're 2-2, 1-0 in Conference USA. Their offense looks to be pretty balanced. So, but they are missing. We talked to
How
the
many?
Louisiana Tech guy. What happened?
Do you have a box score right there?
I can pull one up. So we talked to the actual Louisiana Tech guy on Tuesday, one of their reporters for, I think, SB Nation, and I think he said they're down their quarterback, and he was basically saying their chances against us are very slim. He even said he expects to lose that game. So let me pull it up here. But so that
That's
was,
crazy.
yeah, it seems like, because they have a lot of injuries too. I think they're down a bunch of running backs and stuff like that too. So, but I was like, dang, he's going to come in here and say it like that. I was like, well, all right, we'll rock with that.
Yeah.
But so they played North Texas, and it looks like it was 40-37. Yeah, Jack Turner, I think, is their backup quarterback, and their running
How
back.
many pass attempts?
So 14. This one they went heavy run, probably because of the injury, but they had let me see if I can find the pass attempt. So he only had like 20 or 14 pass attempts, 9 of 14, and then Bachmeier was the starting quarterback. He was 6 for 11, but and then they went heavy dose of run. Tyree Shelton had 16 carries, 152 yards for 9.5 yards per carry. So they have some playmakers, but they have Smoke Harris, 4 receptions, 77 yards, average 19.2, you know, per catch. They have playmakers, but I think our defense is so disciplined, it's going to be so hard for them to break anything. And I think for them to have success in this game, they're really going to have to start trying to break those playmakers into space and over the top. And I don't think they can win a grinded out game. So yeah, what's your take based on, you know, just kind of hearing that and them being down quarterbacks? What's kind of your take on what we can take away from this game. I know winning itself, is almost expected, but what are some specific things we can look for on the field to point to?
I would say, uh, it's hard because I don't like to go off stats. I like looking at film,
Yeah,
and
for sure.
so I would say it would be interesting to see what type of run schemes they have. So, looking at tape, you either see, gap schemes, that's
Mhm.
more of counter stuff, things like that. And then you got zone schemes, more like inside zone, outside zone. So uh with the 3-3-5, there's different things you can do to counter both things. The good thing about it, Minnesota, we thought they were a heavy zone scheme, and then they came out and ran some counter, ran some gap scheme stuff, and we stuffed it up. So we've
Yep.
seen both this year. Colorado ran pretty basic stuff, a couple pin pull stuff, um, a couple dart things, but there wasn't anything too crazy. And then this past week, we ate up every type of run.
Yeah.
So it would be interesting to see. I would imagine that they would like to get some things outside the tackles. Um, try to my dog Buddha calling me right now.
No.
Um, try to get some exotic runs, maybe a reverse here, jet sweep here, some different things to get the defense on their toes. But there's defense is just playing so sound right now, and they're so keyed in.
Mhm.
And so I don't see a lot of things breaking us. Just gotta stay disciplined. I'm sure they probably don't do anything too crazy, but just a running back running for 100 and some in the previous week. It's gonna be interesting to see how they adjust.
Yeah. And like you said, the defense is, I mean, they're doing it with fundamentals. I mean, it's just they're playing just solid defense. They're sticking to their assignments. Like you said, they're just doing their part. And that's all it takes to be consistent on defense. I mean, is do your job, like you had mentioned in one of our previous recordings, do your job. And they're all doing that. And then one of the biggest things that I've noticed, just going back to the defense for a second, is everybody's flying to the ball. When one hat gets to the ball, the rest are flying towards it. And that's kind of what is taught, all throughout football, your life playing it is just let's stand the guy up and everybody needs to get over there until the whistle blows. And I'm seeing that a lot from the defense. The defense is just swarming and they're playing with it's almost like they are just playing so loose and so free that the game just is flowing so slow in front of them that they're able to read everything almost. It's like every single play, I feel like I expect a stop or a short gain or something. And it's nice to have that, especially going into Michigan. We have the run defense because Michigan, of course, is a run heavy team. So yeah, there's only so much you can take away from a game like this. Again, we can't take this game lightly. But with the defense playing the way it is, Northern Illinois struggled, but I think Louisiana Tech may have a couple more playmakers. But I mean, for all intents and purposes, Northern Illinois shouldn't have had a point. One of them was off the turnover. The other one was garbage time at the end of the game. So hold on, we lost Chancellor. I'm gonna pull it back up in just a second. All right, and we are back. Sorry, we lost it for a second there, but yeah, I was just wrapping up my point on Louisiana Tech. Yeah, I did look at their box score in the break, and yeah, it looked like last week 217 passing yards, 215 rushing yards. Looked like week one, it was very pass heavy, but they may have, like I said, resorted to the running back and heavy run because of the injury. So, all right, man. Well, again, I appreciate your time, man, taking the time to stop in with us and give the people what they want. Any last things on the game? Any shout outs to any other players or anything you want to say closing it out about the channel?
Yeah, I would just say congrats on first win as a quarterback to Heinrich. Congrats to the team on the first win. You don't take winning for granted at all, no matter if it's against a division 10 school. You do never
Yep.
never take winning for granted because there's so much things that can happen during a football game. Shout out to Fedoni, my boy Tommy, for second touchdown in a row.
Yeah.
Back-to-back games. We talked about adversity earlier in the show.
We talked
As
about
someone who's
Fedoni
been,
more. I should have
yeah,
brought
been
him
through.
up more. So my bad on that. Good call there.
Yeah, someone who's been through the ringer, man, and everything has been thrown at him, and he's prevailed, and we're just seeing a glimpse of what he can do. So
Absolutely.
yeah,
All right, man. Well, again, thanks for your time. Yeah, Fedoni, crazy story. I love the celebration personally. I'm all for it. That's why you don't dog players on Twitter, especially especially when they're injured. Like they're already going through enough. That's such a that's so hard on your mental health, man. So yeah, credit to him. Love to see it. So all right, y'all. Again, support Chancellor over at D&D on YouTube. There's X at Chancellor Brew. Links will be in the description. Go ahead down, click down there. Keep showing him support. The more y'all show him support, the more he'll want to come on. So leave any questions y'all have in the comments here or on his
yeah. Ask some
channel.
questions.
Yeah, let's start doing some questions and we'll try to get to some and answer some. So but do it on both. You know, ask some questions on here. If you go check out his channel, ask some questions on there and we'll get them answered for y'all. So all right, everybody. Well, thanks for joining in. Thank you again, Chancellor. And we are going to head out and we'll see everybody probably at the post game. I'll see everybody. So, all right. Peace.